They say only the strong will survive. And when we say strong survival, we're not just talking about the industrial age metaphor for durability being a sustainable force, like a sustainable metal, being able to endure hard times, because enduring things doesn't necessarily mean we're endearing to things. We could go through everything, experience everything, but if we fail to experiment in those experiences, we'll have nothing but experiences, but no lessons from the experiences. You can have experiences without wisdom. Matrix Unlimited. So experience has to be paired up with experiments. You have to approach your belief, your faith, your knowledge scientifically. You have to research it, study it, apply it, and see if it works for you. That's scientific. Doesn't mean you believe or don't believe in anything. You're just trying something to see if it works. And once it works, you try it enough times to see if it's reliable, and that's that. This is the approach to life. So only the strong, we're talking about your spirit, your soul. How able are you to be solid and still to the center of who you want to project yourself as? Circumstances and things and events and all of that can come constantly to try to knock you off what they say is your square, your center, your foundation, to knock you off your pillar, to knock you off your calm, to knock you off your cool, to knock you off your energy, to knock you off your balance, to mess up your energy, to mess up your vibe, to mess up your mood. All of these things are what we're talking about with only the strong survive. We're in a time now, in a moment now, where how well you are able to maintain your spirit and your original expression of yourself that is beneficial for you, the more able you are to hold on to that, the more likely you will be to survive in general. We're not talking just on a career or vocational. We going even biological. If you're constantly depressed, you're going to die. If you're constantly anxious, you're going to die sooner than you need to. These things happen. So pardon all the hocus pocus and all of the metaphysical, and if it sounds too deep, but we have to bring things from all corners so we can reach as many as we can. And so we have to go in left field for the sake of reaching at least a few who might feel like there's no hope. We don't know who feels like it or who doesn't. But I do see the glazed look in these zombies' eyes out here. I do see the glazed look of conformity, of just being almost like no longer a person, but just a part of a thing. I understand that. And on some level, we're all tied in and plugged into some machine. We all have the cords and the plugs in us. But you still have the free will to decide who you want to be. It doesn't matter who's manipulating what. If you have something in you that resonates with you and you pursue it, who cares what or who has its hand in it? Just do you. That's strength. Sound good, but you got to really slow down to apply it, though. Because before you know it, whole years can go by in grief. You got to be careful with this. This is about seizing your life and turning your entire destiny around in a matter of 1 second, being able to slow down. Only the strong, you got to get back to the 0 point, because polarity will pull you this way or that way. The polarity, the pole, might be so positive where you might just get into the glee club or whatever, you know what I mean? You might just be throwing confetti around. And that may not have been your original intention when you went into this. You might have wanted to just, bring it hardcore. But now you're selling pottery. See, that can happen if you're polarized even too much to the positive. How about the negative? You go from just being a revolutionary to probably a terrorist. You just start hurting people physically and everything like that. Too far the other way. You got to stay right there in the center. In your mind, in your thought realm. Of course, it's easier said than done because you're filtering in everything from all universes. So, of course, there's going to be a screening, and there's nothing wrong with you looking at what flashes by. But you also have the job to filter it in. So, only the strong. And what you do is start inside yourself and look at what you enjoy doing the most and what you love doing the best and who you love being. That aspect of you, that side of you, whatever side of you you feel like is the strongest and is the most productive for you, that's the side you want to flaunt. That's the side you want to promote. That's the center. That's the foundation. That's the square. Right there. That's where you want to be. But it takes strength to hold that there because there's advertisements, there's family, there's friends, there's coworkers, there's strangers, there's your own thoughts, there's stuff we watch, there's stuff we play, and all of these things can pull you away from the center possibly if it doesn't resonate with something that's in you. Another way out of this too is you can always do the synchronization effect. You can always take whatever it is, no matter what it means, no matter how another person may have applied it, symbols, etc., and just redefine it to mean something that will benefit your journey. You go ahead and do that. Nobody has a right to judge you for changing the definition of a thing to serve your purpose and to help uplift others. There's nothing wrong with that. That's called diversity in some schools of thought. So it's cool. Only the strong will survive. It is a matter of life and death, though. Boredom will kill you. Look it up. It's killing like 80% of baby boomers. Boredom. Even with the money. You got to keep reaching. And never let that imagination die. Because that's what's going to build your center. That's what's going to help you build your square. Because if your square is flimsy and you don't spend any time focusing on who you really are versus who other people are, if you don't spend any time self-reflecting, then you're not even going to know where that 0 point is. So you're just going to be blown this way or that way. And you could get devoured on either end. Because you're going to feel the pain of being overly positive because there's going to be a denial that comes there whenever some real things happen. So you're going to feel like a counterfeit if you project positivity when you just, in an effed up mood. And then on the other end, you might just be failing to be grateful for the most simple things. It's just out here being a revolutionary. So you gotta keep it right there in the center. And I'm not here to define what the center is for you. But whatever part in you that keeps you from wilding out this way or that way, keeps you from either stealing from someone or giving everything that you need away to somebody, whatever keeps you from either of those extremes is your center, so to speak. You get that? Only the strong will survive, though. It's a matter of life and death, though. How you live and what you believe is now connected to your heartbeat, your heart rate, your breathing, your metabolism. Look it up. It's always been true. Endorphins. Look at all the biochemistry notes. We're not creating stuff. It's stuff that's already there. The power, the magic, the miracles is already right there. It's just common sense, logical stuff. But we don't really talk about it. So it just goes overlooked. There's no magic involved in any of this. What's magical about it, though, is just how the common sense of it all is what's so empowering. How the simplicity, the non-complicated approach to this is where all the power gleans and stems from. Only the strong will survive. It's deeper than thriving. Only the strong will survive. You can manipulate timing. I had to rhyme right there. I'm sorry. I was just doing another track. But you hear what I'm saying. This is a Matrix Unlimited. So no matter where you are, you're always somewhere. Whether you're awake, asleep, you're somewhere. There's no such thing as a nowhere. So then that means that the Matrix is eternal then. You're in a womb constantly. It doesn't matter. This universe, that universe, the womb, the earth, the water, the sky. You're always in something, right? And even if you're not aware of that, you're in your mind. That's a whole nother womb. Imagination, that's a whole nother womb. And womb is what a Matrix is. Matrix Unlimited. Again, shout out to the franchise, because the commentary on it is very, very strong. And I do believe that is pointing to a very strong appeal for us to keep our center. Because now, without even entertainment there, it can become a matter of life and death.